Welcome back, everybody. We're going to hop into our third and final adventure of the evening, one which I have entitled A Meeting of the Mayors. But before we get into it, as is tradition, we're going to take a brief moment and talk to all of our adventures. We got a Fable tier adventure for us. We got some of the old DnDTime favorites in tonight. And starting up first, we have Ideal. Ideal, welcome back. How are you?
I am doing very well, thank you.
You were a little bit quiet for me for a second. Can you say that again?
I am very well, thank you.
Ah, yes, that is all better. So Ideal, what's kind of new and what's new in your life? What's going on for Ideal in the land of DnDTime these days?
It's the same as last time. Working on deals for my kingdom.
Okay, of course. You putting that sharp tongue of yours to work, I imagine.
Yes, I
am. And what kind of deals are you working on for your kingdom? What specifically are you kind of doing?
Mostly, political trade deals. Seeing what I can do to help increase trade.
And what's the name of your home kingdom? Do you live in one of the great cities of DnDTime? Perhaps a central city or a?
It is the kingdom of Light.
Very well.
Yes.
I hope that everything continues to grow and prosper at your home, Ideal. And welcome back tonight.
Thank you.
ChoGal Hammerfist, next of the soothing voice. ChoGal, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm pretty good.
So ChoGal, tell me, how have book sales been? Of late?
Pretty good. However, I have to say, I just released my second book.
Another book, ChoGal. You're becoming prolific so fast. ChoGal, what's your new book?
Oh, it's How Not to Die When Everyone Wants You Dead.
It's ChoGal. That is not the most succinct of titles. Although I suppose How to Have a Soothing Voice is also not the most succinct of titles, and that proved to be a bestseller in the lands of DnDTime.
Exactly.
Now, ChoGal, I think I have a pretty good idea of what that book is about. But could you break us off a piece of some of the hot tips that are within that text?
Oh, well, first let me give you a
teaser.
I was at one point, and this is a spoiler for the book, just a warning. I was at one point a gladiator in an arena in a faraway land.
Okay.
And of course, in the arena, everyone wants you dead. I mean, that's how you make money. You kill them.
Yes, naturally.
So I give out a few tips and tricks on how not to let them win. Most of it is, and this is a bit of a smaller way to say this, but stab them repeatedly.
Okay, I imagine it's a little bit more eloquently and elaborately put in the book with more specific details. Yes.
But I don't want to spoil the book.
I understand perfectly. Well, ChoGal, welcome tonight. It's good to have you back.
Also, he has a beard, looks slightly different, and has this weird shiny glaive on his back.
Oh yes, I forgot that you had recently obtained a fancy new glaive. I look forward to seeing it in action. Wonderful. Next, we have another returning veteran here. We have Euchaunkas Ouwoupli.
Yeah.
Euchaunkas, how are you?
I'm good. I need to get ChoGal's new book.
Are you on is there kind of like a first edition, kind of like a mailing list? Do you pre-order?
Oh, he's a subscriber.
Yeah, I subscribe to the mailing list.
Once the first batch of books comes out, he's one of the first ones to get it.
Yes.
Euchaunkas, your particular take on the Great Big Cloud is often considered gospel in a lot of senses. You've been kind of elevated as the high priest.
The high priest. I now have a big hat that helps prove that. I mean, everything's just falling into place. I've got this beard that's held up pretty well, despite not being actually physically attached to my face. Things are going pretty well in Euchaunkasville.
It sounds like things are going well. I guess my next question was going to be, has Euchaunkas ever considered writing out what like the tenets are of worship of the Great Big Cloud? As I think that your fame and position puts you in the position to perhaps be a successful author as ChoGal is.
Oh yeah, no, it's a work in progress.
Of course.
But I think I'm thinking about getting into politics. So you got to kind of balance things. This mayor meeting is really convenient for what I'm aiming for.
What is your opinion on the separation of church and state?
What?
And last but not least, we have Lorquin, the Unkillable, returning once more. Lorquin, how are you?
I am good. Yes, very, very good.
How have your kind of adventures been out among the world of DnDTime? Have you found any kind of recent progress on the hunt for the ones who kind of killed your master, if I remember correctly, was what you were working on?
I am currently tailing a suspicious group that mentioned something about it. Hopefully
that's kind of
they will lead me to them.
One of probably the best leads you've had so far, it would sound like.
Yes, here's hoping.
Well, excellent. And Lorquin, as of yet, have you felt any pressure? I mean, Lorquin is, of course, the Unkillable. Have you come close yet to death?
There was one time, but I do not speak of that. That was a troubling time. It was when the
time that shall not be spoken of again. Oh yes, that was that has the potential to be pretty terrifying for sure. I mean, I guess that's the only way one could kill a man such as Lorquin is by just reducing him to old age much faster. Because I think by blade or by club, Lorquin is pretty much untouchable. Yes.
Yes.
Well, Lorquin, it is good to have you as well. Let us start diving into tonight's adventure proper. Bartholomew has sent you to contact a woman by the name of Dorothy Parker. For those of you who are unaware, she is the mayor of Central City. And for those of you who are also unaware, once you are the mayor of Central City, you remain the mayor even after you no longer hold the office properly. Very much like the President of the United States are still referred to as presidents, although they hold a little bit more political influence after even. And today is the annual Luncheon of the Mayors, where all of the mayors of Central City who are still living gather and have a big kind of meal and talk about things that only really mayors can discuss. Now, Dorothy Parker needs all of you to come here because she's heard some kind of upsetting news, and she's going to give you the details on that once you've all arrived. So where we begin, you've arrived in Central City. You met at kind of the hall that they're going to be having this big kind of luncheon in. You walked past. You could kind of smell the food beginning to cook. Euchaunkas looks like there's a lot of kind of fresh meats that seem to be up in the air, although everything's still kind of in the process of being prepared. You can see the banquet hall itself is huge. The number of tables implies that this meeting, there's planning to seat at least like a few hundred people here.
It's a lot of mayors.
It appears to be quite a few mayors. You work your way past eventually, and let me just. Do you guys hear music at the moment?
No.
Okay, good to know.
Wait a minute, my volume's down.
All right, fixed it. So you continue past and kind of get into the waiting room where you were told to meet with the mayor. You all have kind of a few minutes to just kind of relax. The room that you're inside is very nice. This appears to be one of Mayor Parker's, it seems to be her personal office. And the walls are lined with pictures of Mayor Parker in doing different things. Like there's one of her like cutting the ribbon. There's like a picture of her awarding, actually it's a picture of her awarding Bartholomew the key to the city.
That was a big mistake.
I think he has since given it away in his Bartholomew's Big Bag Bonanza, the key to Central City. But what you gonna do? And you know, there's like a small kind of bust of her wearing her normal kind of mayor's garb. She wears a lot of pantsuits. And you're just kind of milling about the office. Is there anything that you want to do or discuss before the mayor arrives? You were told by an assistant that she would be there in just a few moments to speak with you.
There's no food.
There's kind of a small there's kind of a small like waiting tray with some miscellaneous nuts in it.
Oh boy, nuts.
ChoGal peddles his new book.
ChoGal tries to sell a copy of what's the official title of the second book again?
Oh, it's How Not to Die When Everyone Wants You Dead.
Excellent. You peddle How Not to Die While Everyone Wants You Dead a little bit to everyone else in the group. Do any of you bite? I mean, obviously Euchaunkas, you were already kind of sold. Lorquin, ideal. Do you grab a copy? I think Lorquin might already be kind of a master on this subject.
Yes, I would pick it up just to read how other people survive.
So, how's everyone doing? Y'all worshiping the cloud?
Not really.
I see no need to.
Some people.
All right. Well, a few
I
moments
worship
later,
my patron deity.
I'm sorry, what was that patron deity?
Patron deity?
Ah, yes, I've heard of that one. The unpronounceable.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, the unpronounceable is a great god that I'm going to use. But a few moments later, eventually the door kind of swings open and you see this woman walk into the office. She's wearing kind of a very nice... she's wearing kind of like a very nice kind of gray pantsuit. She looks over to all of you. Ah, hello, I see that you have all arrived. Absolutely wonderful. I'm big fans, you know. I requested all of you specifically.
Just because I protected you at the play that one time.
Oh, of course. Yes, I knew that was you that did that. I remember.
I can...
Go ahead. Yeah, you can tell very clearly that she does not seem to remember that. Yes, you were, and you see her for a brief moment, she like kind of does a fake yawn. Euchaunkas Ouwoupli.
Oh boy.
Okay, you can eat this one.
Yeah, not...
she's kind of like looking at her hand as she says that, like she was reading it off of.
Did like half of my name rub off on your hand?
What's my name?
I remember.
Covers the name of the book.
Oh. You close the book. Yes, you were ChoGal the Smooth Talker. Yes, I remember you, of course.
Looks over to Euchaunkas. I ate this one.
Oh yes, and the one who never dies, and the quick mouthed. Yes, such brave adventurers. Your deeds will never be forgotten. A medals for all of you.
Literally already forgot them.
She kind of muffles around into her desk and opens it up, and you can see as she pulls out just 4 medals, and pictured on the medals, engraved into it on one side, is a picture of a trophy, and then on the other side is just a picture of her face. And she hands all of you for your heroism throughout the.
No thanks.
Well, this is a great honor. You should take these.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll take it. I'll get a punch.
Fine.
Later.
He takes it and puts it in a sealed lockbox, and then like ties it to a rope and puts it in his puts it over his shoulder, not even in his backpack.
Wonderful.
How much longer are you mayor for?
Well, until the next election.
When's that?
Hopefully never. And she winks. And then she hands
Okay, I'm running for mayor.
She hands you.
Me too.
At this point, she becomes very gravely serious and looks at the two of you. Running for mayor, huh? Well, I paid you to do a job, but we may have to have words after this. And she gets very, upset as you offer to run for mayor. But she hands Lorquin and Ideal, both of you, medals. Do you accept them?
I'll take it, but I'll put it into my pocket.
Ideal
All
takes it and just puts it on his belt.
Okay, you hang it off. It kind of dangles. You hear it jingling down there.
It just dangles from his belt.
Well, anyway, I'm sorry. I've been distracted, so busy, so many things to do, a city to run. And as she's saying that, she's kind of moving over to a closet. She has, she's taking out a bunch of different kind of hats and kind of trying them on. And she takes a couple of them and looks to you. Which one of these would you say the greatest mayor ever to run Central City? Which one says that more to you? And she takes out one kind of big, wide brimmed one, and then one more kind of sensible, shorter brimmed one.
Okay. Which one do you like the best?
I can't make up my mind. I want the one that says the most. This mayor is the greatest mayor of all mayors.
Looks around at the book, and then puts the book on her head. There you go.
Yes, if you can balance that through the whole dinner, you will be the greatest mayor of all time.
I'd like you to both make me, I think this is ChoGal. Make me a deception check with advantage. Because Euchaunkas is helping. 18. For a brief moment, she's kind of looking at the hat and kind of puts it down. She puts the book on her head. She's kind of holding her place. And she does have actually very excellent posture. And she speaks up, yes, I used to do this at the academy. Do you really think that this will prove to the people out there that I am the mayor to end all mayors, the #1 mayor, the best mayor of all time?
It'll show them your balance.
Certainly say something.
Yeah, it'll say something, all right. It'll send a clear message.
I appreciate this very greatly. Yes, this is what I will do. Anyway, I've digressed. This was the most important matter of business, of course, but the second most important. And as she kind of nods, the book kind of slips off her head, and she goes, oh, and is now just kind of awkwardly standing perfectly straight while the book is up, because she can't really move her head too much anymore. And she starts speaking to all of you. Very well. Now, I signed up for the mayor's luncheon, of course. We have 312 mayors that are still alive here in Central City. 313 mayors RSVP'd yes. That means that there's an impost mayor somewhere that is planning to attend this banquet. I need you to weed them out, because us mayors, we are privy to a lot of dangerous secrets about Central City. If the wrong person snuck in and heard those secrets, well, that could be devastating for the Central City and the surrounding regions.
Really?
Maybe. Either way, they weren't invited to the party, and I'm not allowing anyone to crash my party.
Well, then if they weren't invited, how did they RSVP?
That's an excellent question that my people are still getting to the bottom on. Do you have people? I have quite a few people that are working on that one.
Yes, I do have people.
I work for people.
Perhaps I can have
I'm
my
one of those people, and I still question how this was possible.
Perhaps I can have my people get in contact with your people, and they can get to the bottom of this. But for right now, I need to find that individual.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a list of all the actual non-foe?
Do you have a list of the RSVP?
Oh yes, we went through. You see, the last 30 or so mayors, we're certain that all of those are real. However, a lot of the people that are mayors here can live a very long time, long before they started keeping good records.
How do you know this just isn't an elf mayor?
Well, I mean, there's certainly a number of elf mayors. We believe that all of them we had tracked. It's possible that there's an old mayor that we don't even know about, but that's why we kind of keep the listings. Most of them have been here a whole bunch of times. It's very hard to keep track when you have so many mayors.
Is there a particular object which would set this faux mayor apart from anyone else. Or perhaps something that all mayors have that they do not or would not know about.
We all wear our mayoral sashes, and she points to the sash that she's wearing, which says mayor on it. And you see, like, also on it, it's like just a sash. It just says mayor in kind of block text. It's a white sash that goes across the front of her suit, and there's also written on it on either side. Like on the left side, it says "the greatest of all time," and "for all future" on the opposite side.
Now, do all mayors have this exact same text or this exact same sash?
They all have the exact same sash. I did add a little bit of extra flair to mine to set me apart from the rest of the mayors. Can't be looking like an ordinary mayor now, can I?
So it's not exactly hard to fake this sash.
Probably not super difficult.
All right, well, do you have a list of all the real mayors?
I can give you the list of the mayors that we know are real mayors.
Okay.
Great. And when we consult this
list... She gives
list...
you a list. It has 56 people on it.
It's just 56.
Yep.
Out of how many again?
312.
Yes, 312. Those mayors are confirmed. You don't need to worry about those ones.
All right, what's the first
Can we have a list of the most suspicious mayors then?
Certainly. Most of them are on that list, actually. And you kind of going through and reading through the names of the mayor. You see among them some people, like there's a couple of people that strike out to you that just have first names. You see one person named Mort.
Oh, no.
There was a Mort?
Yes, that's how they got a lot of their Mort rights.
This is going to be a problem if the...
I'll have you say, I am a very large advocate for Mort rights here in Central City.
This is going to be a problem if this mystery mayor is another Mort.
That could be very bad. Hopefully that's not the case.
Also, the Morts tried to kill you at that play.
Again, I am a huge advocate for Mort's rights.
The politically correct over here.
All right.
And also, you see another person on the list. There's also apparently a Green Sun cult member on the list. You see a woman by the name, just first name, Maria, who's apparently a Green Sun cultist. And then there's just like a bunch of other... There's like some really like... There's a huge variety of names. You see one... there's Vilthrax Doomhammer, which is Doombringer, which is like a very kind of spooky name. You see one that just says Slippery Sue.
Oh, hey, I knew her in college.
You see one Jonathan Justice. There's just a lot of very like, there's just a lot of very strange sounding mayors on here. The mayors in the last several years have led to Central City being in a very interesting place. I'm doing my best to turn all that around, but I can't do that if I don't keep being mayor, and if I give out our secrets tonight, I won't be mayor anymore. Anyway, I better get things moving.
I mean, obviously, if the secrets of Central City are so important, just don't show up. And if people ask why you didn't show up...
well, there's tons of other mayors there that also know the secrets of Central City. That's sort of the issue.
So, to be clear, there are 312...
Don't discuss the secrets of Central City.
312 individuals, yes, that is correct.
That know the deepest, darkest secrets of the city.
Yes, that is also correct.
It doesn't exactly sound like the secrets are very secret, then.
Or safe.
All mayors take a vow of secrecy.
Even they shouldn't discuss the secrets at the...
Well, they're going to be thinking that they're around other mayors. Don't you see the conundrum here?
Well, they can't talk about the secrets if we're there.
Listen, I've had enough of this. And she turns around. I need you. I've paid you to do a job. And she walks out kind of awkwardly, awkwardly trying to balance the book on her head. I mean, that's literally what the mayor system is. Is trying to balance the book on her head as she works her way slowly out of the room, taking like one step at a time. I'm going to be making a bit of an entrance, but if you need me to make any introduction for you, once I have, I would be happy to do so. Until then, enjoy the food. Don't listen to any of the secrets that you yourself hear. Also, If you do hear a secret, let me know. I will need to have that purged later. Additionally, what else? That is all. Like I said, you may enjoy the food, and please just take a seat. Here, take some chairs. Just put them at whatever table you want.
Ideal leans over to ChoGal and says, "She doesn't seem very bright for a mayor, does she?"
ChoGal is just gonna look at him and smile.
Oh dear. Two Bartholomew Mucks. Whoever gets to drop the book.
I'll take that back.
All right. So, do you guys kind of work your way into the hall?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
You can see a number of mayors have already kind of entered in the building. Most of them are wearing kind of big poofy suits, tall top hats. They all have their big mayor sashes on. Each person seems to be trying to kind of like out-mayor every other person. And they're all just kind of talking, like you walk by kind of a group of mayor talking, yes, the state of politics at the moment is certainly something worth considering. And then you hear another mayor go, indeed, politics right now, we're at an all-time high. And you keep kind of just kind of start working your way around the hall as more and more mayors start to filter in. Mayors of a variety of races. You see like a dragon poke his head in and kind of realizes he's too big for the room, and then shapeshift into a human, and then kind of walk in. You see him don a little hat afterwards. But yeah, all kinds of kind of a walking treant walks in that seems to have been a mayor of Central City at one point. But there's just a pretty diverse conglomeration of individuals that are currently here within Central City.
How large is this area?
The hall itself is pretty massive. It's about the whole space is about 600 foot square.
Wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's pretty big. But yeah, there's just tables everywhere. Like I said, it's like 312 mayors, so there's tons and tons of tables. There's a whole dance floor. You see the buffet is starting to kind of open up as this is the annual luncheon. There's tons of lunch food, sandwiches, a whole bunch of different varieties. Not a ton in the way of alcohol. It's mostly just kind of ale and wine. They're not looking for the mayors here to get completely sloshed. Although there's some that are already, you can tell, hitting that mead pretty hard. I'm sorry, hitting that ale pretty hard. But yeah, a lot of sandwiches, a lot of kind of finger foods. It's all very casual as people are kind of moving around and mingling. What do you guys all want to do?
Kind of looking around nonchalantly, looking for anyone who might not be wearing a sash.
Good place to start.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check. Is it safe for me to assume that everyone is kind of going to be doing this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone make me an investigation check?
I'm not great at these,
Neither am I.
Yeah.
but I still do it every time.
I'm quite bad at them.
You see the food.
You see that big treant that walked in, and you're kind of looking over at him, and he does not have a sash. He does have the word mayor carved into his bark, but it's not a sash, and she said they all have sashes. So you go up to that guy.
Hey! Tree! Where's your
there.
sash?
Good to see you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
Where's your sash?
I am.
We were hired as security. We don't need sashes.
We are security mayors. We don't wear sashes. Exactly.
Security mayor, that's a great idea. Why have they never done that before?
We keep the peace, keep the security, make sure everyone's, not talking about their secrets too much. You know what I mean?
It's hard to wear a sash as a tree, so I just carved it right in.
Okay.
Do you see anybody that may look different?
So that's Euchaunkas is over talking to this tree. Lorquin and Lorquin and ChoGal, both of you are kind of looking around for stuff because you all kind of made this investigation check. The two of you catch someone who's a humanoid that's not wearing a sash.
Going over to that suspicious guy.
It's actually, it's actually a halfling girl who looks up to you. Hey there, what's going on?
Hi, where's her sash?
Forgot it at home. And I mean, everyone else here is wearing a sash. Why should I wear a sash? I'm the
name.
She says, "Oh, me? They call me Sue. Slippery Sue is another name for me."
Looks over the list just to make sure, and just eyes her at the same time, knowing full well she's on the list, and that I had her in college.
She kind of like, as you're kind of like walking around, she kind of like is like circling you. You look kind of familiar to me, a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah, that's because we went to college together.
Where are your?
Says that.
Oh, okay, yeah. I went to college, I think, for a week or two. What were you two doing?
Same, though.
You don't. When were you guys mayors? I don't even remember seeing you two mayors. I would remember.
Oh, no,
I'm
part of security.
Security mayors. Oh, yeah, security. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go grab some food. So.
You're free to go.
She kind of starts walking backwards. You're damn right I'm free to go. And she kind of like does kind of like a somersault backwards as she's moving over towards the food.
I always liked her.
Ideal. You are kind of looking around. And you see all of these individuals, they're talking about some very mundane things, but you see one dude who strikes you as in particularly suspicious among these mayors. And you hear him kind of saying things like, "Ah, yes, mayor. Oh, yes, a good mayor to you too, sir. Hello, my good mayorsman."
I go up and say, "Hello there, former mayor."
Oh, my mayor brother, it's good to see you. You're looking at this person. He's got kind of the big black top hat. He's got the mayor sash, but he's wearing a mask. He's wearing just a mask of a human face. He's wearing like thick gloves. Hello, my good mayor. How are you?
I'm doing fairly well. How about you?
It's a great day to be mayor, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's a great day to be mayor.
Oh, mayors all around. I love mayoring. Anyway, great conversation. I'm gonna go now.
But wait,
just kind of like
aren't you interested in some of the secrets?
Of course, that's what we mayors talk about is secrets. You do a secret first.
Well, I do know one very important secret. And he leans in and says, "I know you're not a mayor."
Go ahead and make an intimidation check. He kind of, as you're saying that, you see him very kind of guiltily like lean back and is kind of like rubbing the back of his head. Of course I'm a mayor. We're all mayors here.
I'm gonna reach up and grab his mask.
All right, you reach out and kind of pull back the mask, and underneath it, his hands quickly go up to pull it back down for a brief moment. You see the face of a skeleton as you pull back the mask, and he goes, "No, stop it! Stop. That's just a fun mayor thing we all do. Remember that mayor tradition? The old face pull. A great mayor joke." And he kind of like quickly kind of pulls you over to the side.
All right.
And he looks up.
Do I see this?
Yeah, you hear this. This is kind of like a loud commotion. You guys just finished kind of talking to the people that you were talking to.
ChoGal's going over.
And he kind of pulls you over to the side. And as you get there, he kind of pulls the mask aside a little bit, and he goes, "I don't know if we've met before. My name is Mayor Philip Q. Janglebones," and then snaps the mask back over his face. And at this point, all of you are here.
Janglebones.
Janglebones.
I'm not really a mayor, but I had to get in here today.
Why?
You see, a mayor long dead from my town, Southtown, has emerged back and has possessed one of these mayors in this hall.
You wouldn't happen to know which mayor, would you?
I'm not certain. But, and at this point, you notice most of the mayors have kind of like settled in at their tables. And he goes, I'm pretty sure my magic undead senses have been on key all night, and I think I detect them the most from over there. And he points to a table. It's just got like 8 people sitting at it. But it's 8 people who are all kind of very standout guests. You see, Sue is actually sitting at that table. You see the Mort is sitting at that table. You see the Green Sun cultist, that treant, that dragon I described is sitting at that table, the dragon in human form. You also see just a few other people that you haven't interacted with yet.
He's
but maybe
undead,
all
right?
maybe all the ones whose names I said before. Yes, Philip Q. Janglebones is decidedly undead.
No, I mean the person. That,
He most decidedly is. Unfortunately, my normal undead senses haven't allowed me to pick him up as well. There's something that seems to be interfering with things here.
would I
They
still
have
be
a
able to trace the hint of undead?
You might be able to trace it if
I
not
pull up
pinpoint it.
the mayor medal that Dorothy Parker gave us earlier and said, could this be it?
I'm not sure. Wait, what are you implying with the medal is?
That it could be interfering, because it's one of the few things, because we were all given medals at the beginning.
She looks, I don't think it is. I think they've kind of proofed the hull from any scrying magic or detection magic, so people can't hear the secrets from outside.
I mean, that is a good idea.
But what about from inside?
Well, inside, you can only use your own ears.
What if I read their minds?
What if
I don't know
did
if you'd be able to do it, but it's worth a shot.
I'll try. I read some random guy's mind off to the side.
Specifically
All right,
looking for undead as I'm going towards them.
Not him.
You're casting detect thoughts.
Detect
Yes.
evil aim is what I'm doing as well.
Detecting evil and good.
While I'm going
Alright,
towards that table he pointed to.
You get the answer. You get the answer yes, ChoGal. There is definitely an elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, and that creature is directly, kind of directly to your side. You get the one from Janglebones, and it's an extremely strong presence he gives out. But as
I meant like as I'm going to the
what
table.
I was saying, as you're kind of moving over to the table and you start to detect other things in the room, you can detect like that there is one, but it's not giving you that pinpoint. You can tell when there is. Like as you're moving through, you actually pick up an aberration at one point, which is kind of, oh god, you're not sure which table. Like you can tell which table it was, but you can't tell like who specifically it was. But yeah, you're kind of getting it. It's just not working at 100% at the moment.
Don't like this.
We could use this. Well, we know which table has the...
Yeah, you do know which
Imposter.
table it's coming from. Janglebone says he's pretty sure he's pinpointed it down to that one in particular table.
Can I confirm?
We could use this to our advantage.
and you see
Mayor
one-
Dorothy Parker knows that there is a false mayor among us, and we know that it is you.
So what I'm doing is going over to that
What if
table.
we want you to sit at
Alright,
the
and-
table?
And as you all are kind of saying this, you actually hear one mayor kind of billowing out, "Everyone, take your seats, mayors, sit down."
I'm putting my seat at the table that they're all at.
Yeah,
I
I sit
drag
with them.
Janglebones over to that table and sit down with him.
You see one very kind of, he's sitting extremely straight in the back of his chair. He looks over to you. "I do not believe that this is protocol.
We're
here.
I believe the rules of the lunch dictate that there is only 8 to a table." And you see Sue call out, "Oh, they're friends. It's fine. Have them join the table. It's whatever. Take it easy, man."
Yes, now it's 13 to a table. New rule.
"I was not informed of this rule. I will need you to
Special event,
provide
just stay
me
over.
documentation.
Instigated by Mayor Dorothy Parker.
You're not wearing your mayoral sashes either. I find that absolutely
Mayor
distasteful."
Dorothy Parker forbade us from wearing our sashes.
And
Yes.
as you're And as you're actually saying that, you see from kind of a big stairway leading down at the back of the room, you see everyone's kind of that same mayor that boomed out before. Everyone, I welcome our current acting mayor, Dorothy Parker, to the hall. And you watch as she kind of emerges from this room and slowly begins to walk down the stairs, extremely slowly as she's balancing a book on her head. And as she does shows, she's waving, and she kind of like turns and points to one individual and just kind of like gives a wink, like they have some kind of in-joke, and she's just kind of slowly working her way down the stairs.
Oh, I hate her.
I hate her too.
You hear like one mayor, you hear one mayor kind of call out, just, "You're gonna be out soon, Dorothy!" And a couple other mayors kind of like shush him a little bit, and she just looks at him and kind of chuckles a little bit, like, and then
I want to hand my junk launcher to Slippery Sue.
your junk launcher. She takes it and she looks at, "What is this? I'm so in. What? I'm already in."
And then you shoot it at someone.
You see immediately she. You see immediately she takes it and just grabs the wine glass that she had and loads it into it and just fires it straight across the way over to that guy who was talking before. How does it work? Attack roll?
It's
It's just an attack roll, right? Or does he make a save?
It's a ranged attack roll that. I think it used Dex to attack because it's ranged.
Okay, yeah. I gave her a +1 to Dex because she's a halfling.
The damaging type depends on what you put in it. And it's like
Okay, yeah.
2 or 4.
Cool. Yeah, she fires a wine glass right at that dude who was complaining about you joining the table, and it flies past his head, and he looks back at her. "Mayor Sue, that was completely improper." And she just kind of looks away and like throws the thing on the ground like she didn't do it, and goes back to, yeah, kind of gives off a, and then Mayor Parker kind of finishes her entrance. You see some confetti was arranged to like pop down as she reached the bottom, and eventually she kind of sits at a table of sits at a kind of a big table of mayors.
While they were distracted, I wanted to Zone of Truth this table.
All right. So everyone at it, I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Does that include me?
I'm basically gonna make one.
I believe it's a charisma save.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a charisma saving. Yep, charisma saving throw.
Not much better. Oh, I said that.
You say that, but
hold on one moment. I gotta whisper.
I'll make it for the heck of it. But
How's my thought detecting?
Oh yes. You're detecting thoughts around the table. We'll come back to that in just a second.
I would know whether each creature succeeds or fails. By the way.
Okay. So I'm going to roll this one to the GM. All right. And then I'm going to make. What's your DC?
12.
12. All right. So a whole bunch of creatures fail. Slippery Sue fails. That guy that you were talking to before fails. The tree fails. The dragon dude succeeds. Someone that you have not been introduced. The cultist fails. The Mort succeeds.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, but of course he's a Mort.
Of course he's a Mort.
Of course he's a Mort. Morts actually cannot be compelled to tell the truth. I don't know if you were aware of that. But
I was there for that.
Yes. And then something else succeeds. There's another presence somewhere in there that succeeded that you did not see.
But hey, it reveals that there is a thing.
Yes, but you now know that there is another thing at this table that you cannot see that has succeeded on your saving throw. I'm going to start reading.
What a jangle.
Go ahead.
I'm glancing over to the others with a very sharp glance, like there's definitely something up.
Yeah. Janglebones is not actually sitting at the same table as you. He's kind of like looking over at what you guys are doing from a distance and kind of like making gestures that are pretty unintelligible at all of you.
I'm also gonna like crack my neck a little bit to where like Janglebones can see.
Okay, you crack your neck a little bit, and he kind of goes like, he kind of puts up like two hands, like, what does that mean?
How far away is he?
He's like 2 tables over.
Like, foot-wise?
Oh, like 20 feet.
Oh, I telepathically tell him what it means.
Oh, wait, what did it mean for me, Pete?
I assume it means we found something.
Okay.
Something here.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
And you hear him kind of go, he just puts up a thumb through his gloved hand. And you see him kind of like pull the mask aside, and you see he does like a head motion that implies he was winking, but he doesn't have eyes, so he can't wink.
That was just kind of weird.
And at this point, Dorothy Parker has kind of taken her seat and joined the rest of them, and the meal begins. Everyone kind of, the proper meal, they start kind of serving you. It's in multiple rounds. The first dish you're served is soup, but it starts kind of moving through. It's actually a pretty meaty soup.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, how's this detect thoughts going?
All right, so yeah, you're going to detect thoughts on everyone at this table. The person to your immediate left who complained about you is very frustrated. The tree wants water. The dragon man, you can't seem to detect his thoughts.
Fair.
The Mort, you cannot seem to detect his thoughts. The cultist is literally thinking about nothing. Slippery Sue's mind is racing an absolute mile a minute. But it all seems kind of mundane, and she keeps changing her mind about what she wants to do next. You see the person to your left, who eventually learn his name is Jonathan Justice, is pretty furious. You see, there's kind of a dwarf on one side of the table. His name's Grumman, and he's just kind of thinking about his next drink. And then there's also Vilthrax Doombringer, who seems to be thinking about how best to kill Dorothy Parker.
He can also read our thoughts, correct?
Yes, and also what you guys are thinking on a surface level.
ChoGal is thinking, there's something here. I know it's here. I can sense it. It can't be seen, but I can sense it.
So I'm gonna just do a little test of my own for my own purposes that has nothing to do.
Also, that only lasts a minute, right?
I can cast it at will.
Oh damn! Oh damn!
I'm going to do a little test for my own purposes and just sort of feel out the table and be like, so, have you all heard the good news about the great big cloud?
No.
Where do thoughts go when I throw that out there?
You hear everyone's thoughts go to the great big cloud. They all start thinking about what the great big cloud is. There's like kind of that moment of revelation. Oh yes, I've heard of that. Kind of like backwoods religion.
Which one of them thinks that? Which one of them thinks that?
The one who's been very rude immediately to the left of you. That would be Jonathan Justice thinks that.
I'm just glaring at him.
It sounds like Sue actually did a stint of worshiping the great big cloud back in college, but she's not there. Vilthrax was kind of contemplating how best to bend the great big cloud to his will. Yeah, those are some highlights.
I don't trust that guy.
ChoGal, 2 people at this table need to die.
ChoGal nods.
You see, at this point, Grumman kind of speaks up, and he goes, "So where are you all from? Don't recognize all of you mares. Sorry, it's hard to meet everyone."
The jungle.
I'm a Northtown man myself.
The arena.
The arena. Never heard of that. A few of them kind of acknowledge. You hear that Vilthrax is, of course, from Southtown. Slippery Sue's from Slippery Sue's from Easttown, Jonathan Justice from Westtown, the Treant says he's from the Wildewood, the
Hey,
Dragon
me too.
does not respond. Oh, hey, brother, that's great to know.
Do you hate the veggie pygmies too?
Well, they are just, well, I can't say I'm a huge fan of
Yes,
the
they're
veggie
awful.
pygmies.
They're awful.
Well, not at the roots sometimes, you know?
I don't know if I can relate to that specifically, but yes.
Well, you can relate to it metaphorically, yes?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
So while
Okay.
he's talking, I'm actually gonna get out my jar of light and pretend that it's like a jar of wine or something.
Okay, yeah,
And
you
like-
pull out your jar of light.
Casually, like, open it to reveal some of the lights and be like, "Oops, wrong light!
Alright,
I
you do
wrong
that.
jar!" And then, like,
the
put it
area
back
kind
on.
of the area kind of explodes in light.
Whoa.
You see
Doesn't
Hey,
reveal
man,
any hidden presences.
any hidden what?
Presences? Like, particularly undead presences?
It does not seem to reveal any particularly undead presences. But you see the Mort kind of looks over. Hey, come on, man, put that fucking thing out. Jesus, man.
My bad, I have, like, so many jars in here.
It's all right. It's fine. The Green Sun cultist looks over to you, Lorquin, and she says, "Hello, my name is Maria."
Hello, Maria. My name is Lorquin.
I noticed that you also have not been engaging in a major way in the conversation. Are you the quiet type, as I am?
Yes, you could say that.
Of course, I understand completely. We've really related here, I think. Don't you agree? Okay, this has been
Yes.
great. And she kind of turns and goes back to eating her food very mechanically.
That was weird. Are you okay, Lorquin? That was weird.
Just nod and my policy for this is just nod and smile.
You watch as so as you're kind of doing this, I would like you all to make me kind of some perception rolls.
Okay, I'm great at these. No, I'm not.
I'm pretty good at these usually.
All right.
Too busy staring at people like,
Yeah, there's just so many people. You're looking around the tables. Your eyes are kind of, you're always checking out the Mort. The Sun Cultist doesn't seem to be like doing anything. Slippery Sue's impossible to keep track of. Jonathan's eating in a very way that's so easy to keep track of. You don't even need to look at him to know exactly what he's doing. The Dragon's still just passive, one thing that you notice in particular, Lorquin, that catches you off, you all kind of see Vilthrax. He starts to kind of he's starting to weave a spell under the table, and his eyes are just kind of fixed on Dorothy Parker. And as he's doing that, he's kind of leaning back, and you watch as Grumman kind of takes the leg and kind of flips the chair out from under him, and Vilthrax kind of falls backwards. You all just see Vilthrax fall. Lorquin, you see Grumman kind of tip it over and knock him back as he's doing this. And Vilthrax looks at him. What are all of you laughing at?
You?
well, actually, I'm gonna whisper to him. Wouldn't have minded if you did something to Dorothy.
Are you an ally?
Well, it depends on who you're asking.
I suppose I was
Gives him
asking
a
you.
wink.
I was literally asking you. I just asked you, you imbecile.
You don't understand. Anyway.
Yeah, he
So
does
I'm
not
going
seem to do this.
to. Is the table like? How big around is the table?
Big around as a table. It's big enough to fit a treant and 13 people,
So
or a treant and 12 people.
Yeah.
That's probably a 10
like
foot,
10 foot across.
diameter. Yeah.
Perfect. I'm gonna purify food and drink.
All right. You cast Purify Feud. You cast Purify Food and Drink. Why was that so difficult? What are you purifying?
I suppose just all the food and drink within a 5-foot radius with 10-foot diameter.
Can you throw the spell up for me so I can see what it does?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. You kind of place your hand on the center of the table. Do you like say like a blessing or something?
Yes, blessings of.
4 things were poisoned. You watch as the 4 plates on the people that are like the farthest across from you guys. That would be the dragon. That would be Mort. That would be Vilthrax, and that would be Grumman. You watch as all of their plates have like a poison that's like siphoned out of them into your hand. And none of them had really been like eating too heavily yet. But they all kind of look up at you and are just like, Mort's like, hey, what'd you do to my food, huh?
I sucked out all the poison. You're welcome.
How did you know there was poison in the food?
Rule number 1 of every banquet.
Hey, listen, Mr. Mayor. All right.
Rule number 1 of every banquet: check the food. You never know when someone might be out for you.
Look at that guy. I point at Vilthrax.
All right, you do so. He's looking.
Look at him.
What? What do you want from me?
You would poison food.
Yes, but I didn't.
See?
Well, you're all welcome, because I just saved you from being poisoned.
I'm thankful that 3 of them were saved from the poison. That is one
grateful
to.
All right. So, any other kind of big plans?
I'm gonna look for Slippery Sue.
Slippery Sue's kind of like really antsy. They're supposed to sit at this point, but she keeps like getting up out of her chair and like walking over and talking to people. But she comes back for a moment. Oh, hey, what's going on?
You want to have some fun?
Yes.
You want to start a food fight?
Yes.
All right. I pick up my junk launcher.
ChoGal is immediately ducking under the table at this point. Nope.
Launch it into the air.
I warn him that if he hits me with food, I am smacking him with my shield.
Okay. As you kind of, she kind of picks the jar. Are you giving her the junk launcher again?
Yes.
You hear her take it. She just takes your bowl of soup. She just takes your bowl of soup, ideal, loads it into the junk launcher, and just fires it all the way across the hall, yelling, "Food fight!" And it launches and arcs really high up into the air over to where Dorothy Parker is. And
yes!
See it. She's gonna make an attack roll. She's not super good at this. Oh my god!
Yes, she is!
Fly across the room. And Dorothy Parker's obviously going to make a save for that. She's actually proficient in this.
Fail. Fail. Yes!
You see... Nah, she had to get a 10. You watch as she kind of stumbles for a moment, and the book like almost falls, and she starts to slip, and then she like cranes her neck and lifts it back up perfectly. But as it crashes into the table, you watch as at first there's like several people. At first, there's like several people that like just start tossing food, but then you hear a lot of these mayors start to like hurl insults at each other, and it seems like this is starting to reignite just a lot of like really interwoven political feuds that have existed for like hundreds of years in here. And you see as like weapons start to get drawn, and it just starts turning into like a full-on fight here in the middle of. It's not just a food fight.
Good.
Before anything else, I'm just going to smack my head off the table.
Wait, what were you going to do?
Just like, kind of like facepalm, only use the table as
Oh
my
yes,
hand.
Lorquin just slams his head face down to the table. You hear the trio kind of speak up. This happens every year.
ChoGal's going to get out
like,
from under
looks
the
down.
table.
Yeah, as you get back, like a crossbow bolt whizzes by your face. On the other side of the room, you see like a flash of magical energy. You see Dorothy Parker's kind of like hustling up the stairs, and a bunch of like other security are like following after her as she's like moving up, but also like watching and like cheering on certain individuals once she gets like a little bit safer away. Yeah, so what are you all doing as this absolute brouhaha has broken out?
ChoGal, look, I have an idea.
Yeah.
What if
Yes.
I just try turning undead?
Go ahead.
Do it.
All right, let's try it. I turn undead.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to make a charisma save.
Where is it?
Oh,
Wisdom
yeah,
save. Wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Oh shit.
Yes.
Technically, Jangle Bones also needs to make a wisdom save.
Yes.
Jangle Bones has advantage on these boys.
Because he's not
Jangle Bones
benevolent.
succeeds.
He's benevolent. He's cool.
Oh, well, Jangle Bones just has turn resistance.
There you go.
Of course it does.
Because he's a lich. Everyone knows it.
All right, so you cast this thing, and as everyone stands up and starts to fight at the table, you see Sue's having a blast. Vilthrax Doombringers, like, channeling dark magics that are arcing over towards the thing. The one who actually turns and runs is the least suspecting among them. You see that dwarven man just turn and start running at the wall away from you.
I knew it.
The least suspecting is always the most suspecting.
Yes.
Going after him immediately, and I've got my glaive out. I haven't spoken the keyword, but I've got it out.
All right, you draw your glaive. He starts running. There's just kind of chaos in the hall. You duck under like a flying plate, followed soon after, like coming across like a shuriken that flies across your way. I'd like everyone to roll for initiative.
What up?
I was gonna use this ghost. Now you know it's a ghost. You gotta use this dumbass dwarf initiative. All right, the first to act, fittingly as you were the one that's saying you were acting, is ChoGal. What do you do?
The boy is gonna. I don't want to hurt the mayor too badly.
One of you.
Oh, this isn't Dorothy. Come on. I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and do a thwack.
All right, go ahead
first I am going to. Hopefully this will hurt the ghost more than it. I'm going to speak the glaive's command word. Ow.
Lao. Oh yes, you call it Lao. And the glaive alights.
And then immediately strike twice.
All right.
Oh, I forgot to add the radiant damage. I'm just gonna roll 2d6.
All right. With the first hit, you swing the glaive across, cutting across the chest of this dwarf. He falls, and the ghost pops out as he's just a regular dude.
It's fine.
The second attack swings, killing the dwarf complete. Actually, no, he has two failed death saves, because you definitely hit him.
Well,
Mayor Dwarf is now dying.
Somebody save the dwarf! I've got this thing.
As this goat kind of floats out of it, you hear whoa! It flies out, and you see it's wearing a big ghostly mayor's hat and like a mayor's sash. This seems to be the ghost of a long past mayor.
Wait, that means there actually is 313 mayors here.
Oh yes, that's true.
Oh no.
That's going to bring us. I think it was Euchaunkas next. No,
yes.
Sorry, it was Ideal next.
Yes.
Dexterity.
Yeah. I am going to. I'm going to use Witch Bolt on Jangle Bones because he's the only non-mayor at this point besides us.
What? You're gonna attack Jangle Bones? All right.
Not Jangle Bones.
Hey,
go ahead and make an attack. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Mayor, which means he technically has the right to be here. He's a former mayor. He's just not alive, so he has the right to be here.
Go ahead and make an attack roll against Jangle Bones.
That's your logic.
Your
good thing you missed.
crashes up, and Jangle Bones looks at you and he goes, "That's not even where the ghost is. He's right behind you, you fool."
I think he's confused, Jangle Bones. Sorry.
We can't attack
not even understanding that you were aiming at him.
Yes, my aim was so bad he doesn't understand I was.
Yeah, he doesn't even realize it was at him with that roll. That is going to bring us to now. It's Euchaunkas.
Okay.
Back when I was mayor, the city was run so much better than this.
You're right. I don't like Dorothy either.
I mean, Ideal has a point. Why should we kill the ghosts? I mean, I'll do it, but at the same time.
I mean, you guys can decide to do whatever you want.
Yeah,
I mean, you could also
getting
kill
rid
the
of
dwarf so he
non-mayor,
doesn't
and the
die.
ghost is a mayor, so
That's true. I have an excuse to not harm the ghost this turn. I go and spare the dying on the dwarf.
All right.
Thanks. I may have gone a little bit too hard on that.
Mayor Grumman kind of heals up. You see the wound kind of seals, and you can see him breathing again. His eyes kind of flicker. Actually, he's still unconscious. That's all. Is that all for your turn?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. That is going to bring us to. Oh, it is the ghost's turn. Who's going to look to actually all of you? I would like all of you to make me wisdom saving throws.
All right,
Oh, no.
not cool, ghost.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm great at those. Fantastic.
All right. Lorquin, ChoGal, and absolutely you, Ideal. All three of you are struck by its horrifying visage. All of a sudden, the mayor kind of makes like a spooky face, and you see the hat kind of flies off, and he goes, "I will turn this city around!" And the face kind of like explodes outwards, and you all are suddenly terrified of this ghost. You are all frightened, and in particularly ChoGal and Ideal, both of you age.
Cool.
Both of you age 10 years.
I don't look any different, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Thank God it wasn't me.
Not your weakness, Lorquin. And that's going to be all for the ghost turn. But all of you but Euchaunkas are now terrified of this individual. That is going to bring us to... now it is your turn, Lorquin. You are frightened. What do you wish to do?
Still able to attack the ghost.
You can attack. You have disadvantage on the attack roll, and you can't willingly move closer to it, so you're a little bit farther away, so you can't like walk up to him. So you have to use a ranged attack.
Okay, I will shoot him with my light crossbow, but I also have extra attack, so I'll shoot him with my light crossbow twice.
All right, both of those attacks are going to be at disadvantage. Oh, jeez. 16 actually hits. Nice. Roll damage on the second one. The bolt on the first fire kind of jams a little bit, and then you lock it and pull it back, and it, you watch the crossbow bolt fly across the room. It hits into the ghost. It just kind of phases through his incorporeal form. It seems that kind of non-magical physical attacks are going to be pretty tough to lay him down with, because he is a ghost at the end of the day. Anything else on your turn, Lorquin? You want to stay where you are, or...?
No, I'll stay where I am.
Great. Make another wisdom saving throw at the end of your turn. All right, yeah, you are still frightened, unfortunately. That is going to bring us to... that's going to bring us top of initiative. ChoGal, you are terrified. You're also older. You feel your body grow strangely weak as your skin kind of becomes slightly less lustrous. Your voice is somehow even more soothing now.
Hello. Do I know if ghosts are shadows or fiends?
They're not shadows or fiends. They're undead.
So I guess don't get advantage on them. Oh well, I'm still gonna attack.
All right. Yeah, you're in range, so go ahead and make me 2 attacks with disadvantage. Yeah. Oh my God. So such rolls. Such rolls as you had never seen.
Plus they're undead, so they get extra damage from this, right? From radiant.
Oh yes, you're a paladin.
Yeah. What's up?
Yeah. So this is definitely undead.
1d6 from each. I think it's just the extra radiant damage.
All right. Can you tell me what the total amount of damage is?
Okay, let's see. 24.
That's a massive amount of
30, 35, 41.
Okay, Jesus. You swing, the glaive cutting through with absolute acuity as you slash.
And it counts as magical, so.
All right, yes. So yeah, you do a massive amount of damage to this thing in one round. Damn, I forgot how good you are against this.
That's what happens when you frighten me.
His ghost air sash is tatters. It falls into ghost crumbles into the air after this onslaught of attacks, and he cries out, "No!" And that is going to bring us to an initiative.
He doesn't have a sash anymore.
He's no longer a mayor. That's going to bring us to Ideal. What do you wish to do?
Let's see.
What's the play?
Well,
Okay, cool.
I am going to attack Jangle Bones again. Or at least attempt to.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll.
Alright, I'm going to try and use Switchbolt again.
All right, 24 actually hits. Yeah, go ahead and roll damage on that.
Jingle Bones, why?
Oh god.
You watch as the lightning arcs up towards Jangle Bones, and it strikes his jangling bones. You hear as he looks at you, he kind of starts to rattle a little bit. And he just goes, "Hey, why are you doing this?" And his bones kind of start like vibrating, and you see the head starts to like shake its way up into the air, like leaving the bones behind onto the ground. As you hit Jangle Bones for a whole bunch of deeps. That's a pretty good hit right there.
Yep. And I get to do it again next turn, and I don't have to attack. Still straight up damage.
Let me grab Philip Q. Janglebuns stat block real quick.
Philip, why? Why are you hurting the Jangle Bones?
Because he is the only non-mayor.
Well, of course, it's no longer
It's a fair argument. It's a fair argument.
Mayor, therefore.
Nope. The sash is gone. He's not a mayor anymore.
He still had one.
I don't know what he's talking about. Doesn't have one now.
I would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw. Ideal.
All right.
10. All right. Yeah. At this point, Philip Q. Janglebones, the head just kind of leaves the skeleton behind, and you watch as the bones kind of fall to the ground, and the head starts like hovering away from you. And as it does, it's going to move out of the range of Witchbolt. And also, as it does, you suddenly feel yourself belabored. You have been magically cursed as you feel this pall come upon you. For a brief moment, Janglebones looks at you, and his eyes, those glowing eyes, just seem to flash with this incredibly malevolent light. And you remember for once that Philip Q. Janglebones is still, at the end of the day, an undead as he uses this powerful magic on you. And then he starts running away from you.
Don't mess with the Jangle Bones.
Don't be so mean with the Jangle Bones.
But he's also, and as he's running away, that light kind of fades, and you just hear him kind of running away and going, "Meow, meow, meow, meow." That is going to bring us to
Interesting sound.
Euchaunkas, what do you wish to do?
I
There's a
was
ghost.
I was on board with you, Ghost, and then you went and spooked everyone. And now I have to kill you.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to make a wisdom save at the end of my turn, right? I never did that.
A point of order. He's only a skull now. He is now Philip Q. Janglebone. Yes, you need to make a wisdom save at the end of your turn. Unfortunately, that is not enough. You are still frightened. Also, Ideal, you also make a. He's a terrifying ghost, man.
He's so spooky, but I had to kill him.
Ideal, you can make another wisdom. You can make another wisdom save. Oh wait,
he spooked me.
Yeah. Okay, so you're still spooked as well, just barely. So close.
I'm gonna throw up a Spirit Guardians.
All right, you make a Spirit Guardians.
Targeting him and also Justin Justice and
Jonathan Justice. All right. You watch as they are instantly. Everyone. Actually, Vilthrax has some magic, so Vilthrax is going to make a strength save.
Oh, it's supposed to be wisdom.
Oh, never mind. He's actually good at that.
Why couldn't you have kept it with strength?
Vilthrax succeeds. You watch as does he take half damage on a save?
Yeah, I mean,
you watch as one of your Cloud Spirit Guardians stabs Jonathan Justice in the stomach, and he falls. And then he goes, "This is not protocol." as he is impaled.
The ghost needs to make a wisdom save at the start of its turn, which is now, I think.
Yep, it passes to Ghost's turn, and Ghost is going to make a wisdom save, which it succeeds. It takes 5 points of radiant damage, yes?
Did you roll?
Yeah. Oh, I rolled to GM. I rolled an 18. Sorry.
Okay.
I forgot that I was on that. I'll re-roll. I don't mind showing you guys. Oh, you definitely failed this time. All right. He takes 11 points of radiant damage. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. The ghost, not sure who he's more afraid of, you or ChoGal, ends up deciding upon ChoGal because of what just happened to him. And ChoGal, I'd like you to make me a charisma save.
I'm supposed to be good at these.
You watch as the ghost vanishes and disappears into ChoGal's body. As ChoGal, you have been possessed.
How dare!
Yep. You are possessed, and you watch as the ghost, the mayor ghost, looks down at ChoGal's body, feeling very self-satisfied, looks up to all of you, and raises this big kind of radiant glaive.
Guys, run!
So how much health does ChoGal have?
A lot. The answer is a fucking ton.
I got a lot.
I wonder if 4 attacks from my katana would do much.
All right, that is going to bring us to.
I love to get stones endurance and lay on hands.
That's going to bring us to Lorquin. What do you wish to do? The ghost is out of your sight. You can no longer see it, which means you are no longer frightened, and everyone who was frightened is no longer frightened.
Am I in melee range of ChoGal?
No, but you can be easily if you want to be.
I do want to be.
Okay. You stride forth. The chaos around you as everyone's kind of fighting, still brewing.
I apologize for this, ChoGal, but I'm going
It's okay, it's for the greater good!
I'm going to action surge and attack ChoGal 4 times with my katana.
Oh, damn. Go ahead and make me 4 attack rolls. Are you going to use your advantage thing that gives you advantage?
Oh crap, I could, yeah.
I mean, you're hitting anyway.
I'll use it for the last 2.
All right.
Only 3 of those hit.
3 of those hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
What's the second thing for?
Yeah, what's the second half?
Never mind, that's if I'm using 2 hands.
Okay, 8. Okay.
So 18 plus 13. It's.
Oh god, that's 30. That's 32 points. I'm sorry, 31 points of damage to you.
Am I able to stone's endurance any of that? So.
No, the ghost can't use your racial features. Where are you at?
What was the damage?
31, roughly.
Yeah.
Still up. I'm at 18.
Recharge. Ghost is not recharged. All right, he's at 18 points of healing. That brings us to the top of the initiative, which is ChoGal. Normally would be you, but you're currently possessed, which means that your turn has been put where the ghosts is, which means it's going to bring us to. It's going to bring us to you. Ideal. Philip Q. Janglebones is running away. You have disadvantage on everything that you do right now because of Philip Q. Janglebones' curse.
Okay.
I have to make a wisdom save if I'm not actually thinking about it.
No, you're out of. You're no longer afraid, Lorquin, because the ghost went
okay.
inside of. Yeah.
I am going to curse ChoGal.
Okay. You call upon your curse. Is that a hexblade?
Yep.
Yeah. And you're also going to make an attack, I assume.
You know what? Yes, I am.
All right. Go for it.
I'm going to use Eldritch Blast because I get to it creates two attacks. Actually.
You get a bunch of extra damage and.
No, it creates 2 separate attacks.
Okay.
But I have to roll like each attack separately.
Okay, so go ahead and make me the attack rolls. 20. Wait, you have disadvantage on these. So, Unfortunately, both of those attacks miss. The Eldritch Blast, as you still feel the...
Actually, because ChoGal is first, that cancels it out.
It doesn't matter if either of those hit.
Yeah, it's 9 and 14 both miss. I'm pretty sure, like, it's just 9 and 14 just missed. ChoGal has a huge AC.
Yeah, I mean, that's with... I have a 17 without a shield.
Yeah, they just crash into his armor.
You're right.
Oh yeah, I've got 19 without a shield.
All right. In that case, that's going to bring us to Euchaunkas. What do you want to do?
Man, I'm sorry about what's about to happen, ChoGal.
Do it! It's okay, I'll forgive you! My #1 book guy!
I punch him super necrotically.
17 hits.
Notice how 3 of us apologized, but 1 didn't.
That hits, you said?
Yeah, 17 hits. Roll damage on that.
This is level 3.
Oh god.
That takes me down, but I'm not fully dead.
All right. ChoGal goes down, and as he does, the ghost kind of floats out of ChoGal.
My last words: bring me back. I want to kill him.
Are your spirit guardians still going?
Oh yes.
All right. That's going to bring us to Lorquin.
Isn't it Spooky Ghost?
Wait. You're right. I'm sorry. It is Spooky Ghost. Spooky Ghost is going to...
he needs to make a wisdom save.
Spooky Ghost is going to take the most prudent move, and you see Spooky Ghost lean down and drains the life from the dying ChoGal. ChoGal, you take 26 points, and you have 2 failed death saving throws as Spooky Ghost is attempting to finish you off.
He does need to make a wisdom save.
Yeah, I'm gonna have him do that. Now I'm also gonna have him roll to recharge. And he recharges. And he's gonna make a wisdom save, which he succeeds at taking 4 points of damage. That is going to bring us to Lorquin. Lorquin, this ghost is doing his best to make a comeback. Like you can see, he's getting ready to possess once more. This might be your window now to bring him down. What do you wish to do?
First off, a question: is using a potion of healing, is that
it's a bonus action. If you're drinking yourself, if you're going to feed it to someone, it's an action.
That's unfortunate. I was going to give it to ChoGal.
Don't worry, I'll take care of ChoGal.
No, that's okay then. In that case, I'm going to use my fighting spirit to give me advantage on 2 attacks from my katana on the ghost.
All right, go ahead and make 2 attack rolls. 24 hits and 27 hits. Your katana is magical, if I remember correctly, so go ahead and roll damage on that. It's full damage.
So that's 12 from the first and 9 from the second.
All right, 21 more points of damage. The ghost is battered and withered. At this point, it's looking very near defeat. As it passes now to your turn, Ideal. Did you make a wisdom save at the end of your last turn? Because you can do that.
I did not make it.
Yeah, so go for it. Yeah, unfortunately, that is not quite enough. However, go ahead and take your turn proper now. You still have disadvantage on stuff because of what Jangle Bones. Jangle Bones has all the way out the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to use Frostbite on the ghost.
All right, go ahead and make an attack roll. It makes a Constitution save. All right, you watch as the cold kind of appears in the area where the ghost is. It appears to be completely immune to cold damage. It seems to have no visible effect on the ghost's form. Is there anything else?
Yep.
All right, that is going to bring us to Euchaunkas. What do you wish to do? The ghost is looking close to being downed.
Wisdom saving throw.
Oh yes, wisdom saving throw.
You
are absolutely fine. Everything is good again.
All right, I'll start by getting ChoGal back up.
Thanks.
All right.
That damn
Stupid. Get a
stupid.
bonus action.
Yes.
Healing word.
Yep. And then I'll Sacred Flame the ghost.
Ghost is going to Ghost is going to make a dex save. All right. He fails, taking 10 points of radiant damage. He is extremely close to being downed. However, it passes to his turn, and his eyes are fixed upon you, Euchaunkas.
He needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shit. Oh, no! Oh, God! He goes, you watch as he flutters and goes to dive into you, and right as you do, one of your spirit guardians, its kind of radiant sword pierces through, and you watch as kind of plumes of radiant cloud. I was going to say, radiant cloud smoke pours out as he is at this point slain. You have defeated this ghost. Around you, a battle still rages that takes like another hour to calm down all the mares. As the dust finally settles.
While he's doing that, after he dies, I'm just gonna stomp on the ground where he was a few times.
Right.
How dare you possess me!
A couple, like you see, like 5 or 6 mares remain slain, and then you watch. Then you watch as the kind of dragon, the dragon human reverts to his like golden dragon form and stands up in the room, and you just hear him loud, "Silence!" And literally every mare in the hall all of a sudden just kind of like drops what they're doing and looks over to the giant golden dragon.
He's been reading my book.
Quick
and
question.
as you kind of say that to yourself, he looks down at you and just like winks once and then looks back at everyone else.
Yeah.
Quick question. How much can my stomach...
A lot is the answer, is a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Another question. Does
Yes.
Mayor Dorothy still have the book on her head?
I'm gonna give her 3 chances to fail. She needs to roll above 10s.
Oh,
She loses. At some point during the debacle, you see that she must have lost that book, as it no longer appears on her head, and she looks pretty bummed out about it overall. And you watch as this gold dragon kind of like calls out, "This is not what I wanted this meeting to ever be. You should all be ashamed of yourselves, mares." And all the mares kind of like look down and kind of like just look really sad, and then all the mares kind of pick themselves up. You watch as clerics that apparently were on hand for the death of all these mares start rezzing mares, and
this
everything kind of calms down.
Before.
Yeah,
it certainly
so
has.
about the rezzing people thing. I have... So I can fit a lot into my extra-dimensional stomach, yes?
Yeah.
What?
Okay.
You're gonna eat
Don't do
And
anything to Dorothy.
not so much eat, but like unhinge my jaw and swallow Jonathan Justice whole.
Okay, yeah, you do that. Jonathan Justice no longer exists. As you consume him, there is no body left to res, and no one's wasting a true resurrection on that guy.
I'll deal with him later.
All right.
I'll just casually say to the dragon, Draconic, if you want to kill him, it's on you. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm going to like go over to the gold dragon guy and like just hand him up one of my newest book.
He's kind of resorted back to human once again. And he's pretty silent again. But he takes it in his hand and he looks over to you and he kind of smiles and nods and kind of stows it into his pocket.
I walk over to him and I hand him a pamphlet.
He takes it. He doesn't. He neither smiles nor nods, but he takes it and also places it into his pocket. And with that, eventually you find yourself. You find your way back to Dorothy Parker, who says, so did you deal with our mayor problem?"
Yes, Jonathan Justice is dead.
That's actually not the one we were.
Oh, he was the imposter. Wonderful. I owe you money. Yes, 200, 200, 200. Good to know that all of those mares were taken care of. Excellent. Good work, all of you. I'm really not feeling that great right now. I'm going to go back inside, and you see as she kind of dejectedly walks up the stairs away from you. If you have any questions, talk to my people. And she kind of walks away. She seems very sad about dropping that book.
I'm just gonna look over to Euchaunkas and just smile. It worked.
Dude.
Yeah.
And with that, I think we are Yes. With that, I think we're going to call this adventure adjourned. Congratulations on your victory. You've each earned an experience point and 200 Bartholomew bucks.
Nothing but great happened this session.
I didn't take a single point of damage.
The unkillable.
I wouldn't have.
Sorry again.
Yeah, we
I
have to
wouldn't have, but then I got possessed.
accomplish what we are actually hired to do and something extra.
And Jeremy, are you here?
Of course I'm here. Great work,